So what's going on, guys? So yeah, we got two drive axles, well, a pair of drive axles, two each, and two diffs. So the ones on the left are Z33. Those are Z33 drive axles on the left and J30 drive axles on the right. So now that all looks good. Like, oh man, that shit will work. But when you go here to the diffs, you can see a significant difference along from the mounting point. I didn't really check the distance from the output of this drive, this drive axle to this output to see if those were the same. From the eye, it doesn't look like it appears to be. As you can see, this hump, the whole body of the diff looks bigger than the J30. These are both, quote unquote R200s, 200Vs, but obviously the Z33 is like a bigger casing, so even the mounting points, these are wider than those, and so that's another issue. Then I thought, oh man, I'll be straight. Because the Z33, this is this big guy up here. It comes with a one-piece drive shaft, and then the one underneath is the one that I had with the KA to VG kit. But then a cool thing about this, when I just was looking, let me see if we can see it here. This drive shaft is light as hell. It's like plastic, and then reading this, it says carbon fiber reinforced plastic propeller shaft. So that would have been cool if I would have been able to use this drive shaft because of carbon fiber. But no, that thing is really light. The only thing I'd be scared of is if it could take the abuse and power. So I don't know if Z guys are updating or upgrading the drive shafts to something aftermarket, but that's kind of the thing. So now even the back plates, those wouldn't work. It's like this guy on the right, it's like a beast. Which now I'm starting to think, what if it's an R230? Now, because you have your R200s and you have your R230 Vs, which came in the twin turbo Z32s. And I believe they might have came in the Qs. I don't know. I gotta check the FSM, but doesn't matter to me. So I don't know. I don't know if I could change out the guts, if that's an option, because I am gonna run the 6-speed. So the 6-speed with a 3.9 is gonna be kind of too high for the street. It'll be good for drag, but too high for the street. So I'm gonna see what's the next. If let's say I can swap out the guts, that'd be nice, but just looking at this, it doesn't appear so. But if you guys have any input or information about dropping a Z33 diff on the S13, I mean, obviously you would have to modify the subframe just by tapping, drill and tap the subframe. But it's even if where it mounts is straight up, like flat, perpendicular to the mount. There's so much. I'm kind of, I was excited when I was pulling out the drive shafts and everything. I was like, oh man, look, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, this is gonna work. But then clearly, when you put them side by side, the actual diffs are different, as well as the drive shaft, the length. So no big deals, no worries. It's just one of those things I was just hoping I could use. But on to the next saga. So now that I got the diff pulled out and the drive shaft, one of these days I'll go to the house and pull out that motor and then divorce it from the tranny, sell the tranny, I already got a stock flywheel, and then I need to get a clutch, and then after that I can marry that together and then, you know, go forward. But, you know, a little, you know, kind of setback, but now looking at it and being that, because even on the you see the drive output shafts, how that's a 5-bolt on the left and the next one's a 6-bolt. The Z, oh snap, I got the question. Ha 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 ha. Oh man, this is awesome. So basically, what I remember is I actually have a diff like this, which is an R230V. It's from a twin turbo. Just the output shafts are a 6-bolt like that. And so I went and I what do you call it? Went to the junk and got this because it wasn't the right one. But now, if I have these axles and I have the R230 from the Z32 that I know definitely bolts up into my car, then I am gonna drop those axles with the R230 that I have at my house, and then at least it'll be like a 3.5 or even a 3.6 gear ratio, final gear. So that is definitely what I am gonna do. I'm not gonna worry about swapping, you know, guts and shit. I mean, I would like to, because this is a 3.3, but you know what? What am I gonna do? Fucking sell that shit and make, you know, some money back to fund for other parts. But that is my plan. So keep tuned. Hopefully I can get this motor. I'm gonna be going away to Trinidad for a week. Got a wedding and shit, so I'll be kind of stagnant. But you know what I mean? That's what's up. But all right, guys, late. All right, guys. So day 2. I went and I picked up the R230 that I had at my in-laws, and so as you can see, the 6-bolt from the Z33 axle bolts up to the output shaft there. As you can tell, the spacing of the front mount is similar to this one, unlike this one. As you can see, is freaking way farther out. So what I'm gonna do, and then also another thing I noticed too was on this back plate over here, like you see this is like that, and then that's, you know, like that, but then this one is, you know, the spacing's way bigger on this pumpkin. So I'm guessing Nissan changed the design of the R200. Or I don't even know what. I don't know. I gotta, you know, do some more research, but maybe this year that I think I have is a totally different year and it comes with the R230. I don't know. But regardless of the case, I mean, you can tell the front mounting points are, you know, different. So I'm gonna take this back housing cover, take it off that one, swap it on here, clean it up, make sure it's, you know, all good to go, and then drop it in the car. But yeah, I'm happy I had that. So now this Z32 twin turbo diff is a 3.669, or it's a 3.6 something final gear. This one's a 3.9 and this one's a 3.3. We use for automatic, use for automatic J30s, and used for twin turbo. I think all twin turbos, regardless if it was automatic or manual. But the manual transmission Z33 comes with a 3.5 final gear ratio. So if you were to put the 3.3 on with the 6-speed, it would be a little bit slower in acceleration, but you would get more RPMs, and then, you know, so forth. So when you go with the higher diff, you're going to be revving higher. You're going to be shifting like you're in Fast and Furious. But you know what? I mean, it's just one of those things. Yeah, if you want to be faster on the track, you want to go with a higher gear ratio. If you want to have a nice street car that doesn't rev out, you know, crazy RPMs, you tend to go with a lower gear ratio. Being that I'm now going to be stuck with a 3.6 whatever, then what I'll probably do is go with taller tires. So maybe go with some, I don't know, if I go 15s with some drag radios, or something. I don't know. I haven't got that far, but I got to do the math, because then what I want to do is there's this channel, Engineering Explained, and it's a cool little like techie guy. He does, you know, stuff with cars, and he had one where he was talking about, you know, which diff is optimal based on the 0 to 60 miles per hour. And you know, basically I've done these calculations on kat.org, where if you took the transmission you find each gear ratio for each gear, and then you multiply that with the wheel diameter, or you know, it's a calculator, but it's it goes with the actual gear ratio of that specific gear, the wheel diameter, and then the other piece is the final drive that you have on the back end. So once you plug those into a calculator, then you can get it for each individual gear and know where you know, and it also goes by red line of what you're doing on the car. So if you were to go with a you know, like different diffs, like you want to do your setups, that's what I'm gonna do, is just make like an Excel table or whatnot, and then just see which one that I'm gonna like. I mean, the biggest thing is I just hate driving the car, you know, like cruising and it's revving high, but then I got the 6-speed, and I heard the 6-speed is a little, you know, a little low, so maybe I'll be putzing around doing 50 miles an hour in 6th gear just to keep that that engine revving down. But I don't know, we'll see. It's just one of those things where you got to give a little in order to, you know, get a little back, you know. So regardless of what, that's what I'm gonna be doing. So all right guys, like